Hey, there's many things we could be doing today. But what we're actually going to do with this episode today is we are going to celebrate the life and times of one Don the Beachcomber, Don Beach, and go through. This is the man that started it all. This is the guy that in Southern California in the 1930s had an idea, and the idea has blossomed into this, whatever this is, and multiple tiki parties around the country, and just, yeah, all sorts of fun games and shenanigans. And a fad that has lasted for decades, fallen out of favor and come back in, and is now going as strong as almost it ever was. So kudos, hats off to Mr. Don Beach, and we will be celebrating his birthday. He was born in, there's some debate, I think it's 1907, and exactly where he was born, there's some debate. But February 22nd is pretty much regarded as the day of his birthday.
Supposedly he was born Ernest Raymond Gant.
Ernest Raymond Gant, yes. But variety of things happened. He bummed around the South Seas.
There's some that say he was born in New Orleans.
There are some that say he was born in...
Some that say he was born in Limestone County, Texas.
So basically, we don't really know the origins of Mr. Don Beach, and part of that is a deliberately cultivated mystery about his origins that was part of his consummate showman thing that he wanted to do. But before we get to that, we should be drinking and toasting, and I'll bet Star has a toast that she wants to do.
We have Colleen and Elizabeth online.
Hello, Colleen. Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I have something for you. Let me know when you're back in town. Let's see. What is it that you wanted to toast with the 2014 Fiji? Oh, it's so good, and yet the bottle is so low. I have drinking glasses right here. Yeah, they're already here.
Okay.
It's like I've done this 147 times before. Yeah, that's right, 147 times.
Yeah, those bottles did start at half full.
That's right. We did split them, yes.
We split them with our pod mates.
Yep.
And that way you could have all four of them instead of
just trying to decide on which two. And this, the 2014 Fiji, 5 years old, aged 2 years in ex-Fiji casks in Fiji, and 3 years in Fiji casks in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, so of continental and tropical aging. You will almost always see the tropical aging less time because, well...
Are you going to look up the percent before you put it in the box?
Yeah.
Okay. Having just edited a couple videos.
Do you want to know?
No.
Okay, all right.
But you always look for it, and then it's like...
It's probably on the outside somewhere, but it's not?
No.
It says fruity and spicy, but not sweet.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 fruity stars and 4 spicy stars.
And no sweet stars.
And no sweet stars. So you're not going to like it, right?
I know I like it.
She knows she likes it. So is this the anniversary that we're toasting to?
Yeah.
All right, see? So let this be a lesson to you guys. Get the anniversaries marked in your head, because this isn't a common one.
No.
No.
This is as of yesterday.
Yesterday.
We have lived together for 25 years. So
with minor road trips away from each
yeah.
other at various times.
It was our move-in anniversary.
Yeah, yep. So, and where did we move into?
Champaign-Urbana,
a little
Illinois.
apartment in Champaign-Urbana.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Bam, by the way, because you and Bam moved into that apartment.
Right, and Bam and I were not good roommates.
We're not good roommates, so thank you, Bam, for not being able to be
failing at being roommates with me, so that I needed a new roommate.
Yep.
You could move in. I'm gonna kiss you.
Oh, this is really good. But this is also hot. Swirl it around a little bit. You take a sip, and the first thing you're going to get is this big hit of heat, like right here. Do you get it right here when you swallow?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. I was like, whoa, this is a big rum. Lots of complexity to it. vanilla, a little banana, but not the like rotting banana, not the not rotting, overripe banana.
Elizabeth, people who can remember dates blow my mind. I can't do it.
That's why I have Facebook and a calendar.
Ruth says happy anniversary. Don Kipp says happy anniversary. Susie Haslow
Don,
says
Susie.
all for the kiss.
And what? Oh, uh-oh. Star's reaching for something else.
I am.
Oh, right.
A cheat.
We do have a cheat. We have a cheat to remember our anniversaries. We have a cheat pillow.
We have a cheat pillow.
Yeah.
That is various dates.
Yeah,
but it doesn't include like engagement or any of that.
It doesn't include the later stuff. Yeah. See, Star got that when she had given up. She's like, these are the anniversaries I'm going to have. I'm not going to have anymore. And after we got that pillow, I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm going to throw her a curveball. And we ended up getting married, and it's pretty awesome. So this Don Beach guy, as the legend goes, he bummed around for a while, and he picked up various things in his travels. And when he got home and got into the family business of running a bar and restaurant, he started putting this stuff up, this sort of flotsam and jetsam that he had going for him, and took on this moniker of Don Beach, or Don the Beachcomber, and started like mixing rums and that sort of thing coming out of Prohibition, where rum was very, very cheap. And you often, in order to get other alcohols, because there was such an overproduction of rum, you would often, your distributors would make you buy rum in addition to the other spirits. And so Don became this master at mixing different rums to get different flavors that he wanted and putting together these uber complex cocktails, thus starting sort of tiki as we know it today. So we're going to start now. If you're like, okay, that's great. What did Don do for us? What are the kinds of cocktails that he's known for? Well, near as we can tell, well, as near as is reported in Wikipedia, how's that? His very first cocktail that we have records of him mixing, that is an original Don Beach, is the Sumatra Kula. And the Sumatra Kula, most of these we've actually done on the show at various times. Lime juice, grapefruit juice, orange juice, so sort of the trinity of juices. Honey mix, really liked using honey in his cocktails. A light rum and some crushed ice. Very simple, right? 3 kinds of juice, honey mix, light rum. This is what really bad bars would call a Mai Tai these days, right? You just throw a bunch of juice in and some light rum and you go. It wasn't until later that he started mixing rums. But very early on in his mixing of rums, he created some wonderful masterpieces known in the industry as rum rhapsodies. And thank you, Jeff Beachbum Berry, for going back and collecting these recipes and hunting down the recipes, hunting down the bartenders that made these recipes and playing sleuth and putting them together from bits and pieces and scraps of paper and leaky memories of people that had drunk way too much in the 40s and 50s. One of the probably the drink that he is best known for would be the Zombie, the Vicious Virgin, let's see, the QB Cooler, which supposedly is the drink that Vic Bergeron based his Mai Tai off of, although we've done this taste testing and the QB Cooler tastes nothing like the Mai Tai, so that's utter and complete bullshit. Various punches, like the Planter's Punch, you know, that whole 1 is sour, 2 is sweet, 3 is strong, 4 of weak, 5, you know, and a dash of spice to make it nice. Yeah, that whole thing, he kind of brought that from the Caribbean up here to us. The Nui Nui, the Pearl Diver Punch, Grog's Navy Grog, the Cobra
Missionary's
Fang,
Downfall.
Missionary's Downfall, the 3 dots and a dash that we featured last week and did multiple variations of.
Cobra Fang.
Everybody has a rum barrel, but he's like, yeah, he did Test Pilot, the 151 Swizzle, the Navy Grog, multiple versions of the Zombie. Yeah, so the Skull and Bones, which we really, really like. Never Say Die. I'm not sure we've actually done the Never Say Die. By the time we got to the 70s and 80s, you get things like the Chi Chi, and the Jamocha and that sort of thing. So he's starting to go off the rails there. But we are going to do 3 of the all-time classic Don recipes. And yes, we are going to do these in the complete and utter wrong order to do them in. We are going to do a Navy Grog. Now, the Navy Grog goes down in history as being the favorite drink of some of the most famous people of the 20th century. So, according to legend around here, a Mr. Richard Nixon, when he was president, that the Navy Grog was actually his favorite cocktail, and he would pile his Secret Service detail in, and they would show up at, okay, it was the Trader Vic's at the time, but anyway, and he would pound Navy Grogs, and then the Secret Service would shove him in the limo and take him back to the White House. But, things like that, right? The Navy Grog is just, there are a number of very famous people for whom the Navy Grog is like their absolute favorite drink. So we're going to do the Navy Grog this evening. And then we're going to do one that we've done on the show before, but I think we've only done it once. And I'm not even entirely sure that we did it then, that we have done it. And that's the Missionary's Downfall. And that comes to us from the 1940s. The original Navy Grog is from 1941. And then we're going to go back in time to one of the early recipes where he combined rums. The drink he is most known for, we're going to do the original 1934 Zombie. Why do I say this is the wrong order? Because ending on a zombie is usually a bad idea. But what the heck, we have to be up this evening anyway because we have friends coming in late this evening. So here we go. This is our tribute to Don Beach, and we're going to use like everything I have out here, it seems like. So for the Navy Grog is a typical shaken cocktail. Excellent. We have a shaker somewhere around here. Here, I'm not going to use the tiki tumbler. I'm going to go ahead and use my Cthulhu Octopus Boston shaker here. Ta-da! Yep. I don't normally use these because...
I'm going to point out that on our proto page, which I'm going to link.
The proto page, dun dun dun.
You can see what episodes we made drinks up through the ones that I have on YouTube.
Which is like through 74 or something like that? 74, 78?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So Missionary's Downfall was episode...
What was it?
58.
58. Yeah, so over a year in. So this shaker, I like themed shakers of some sort. So we've got this. We've got the typical... this was Barfly? No, this was Urban Bar. And this has all of the little tiki insignias and stuff. Like, I don't know, there's guitars and steel guitars and pineapples and tiki faces on it and that sort of thing. This just has a great big squid or octopus hanging out on the top of it.
We got it at Pier 1.
Which we got at Pier 1 before Pier 1 went away in this area. So we're going to go ahead and mix it up in here. And it starts, as most good tiki cocktails do, with lime juice. So,
Bruce likes your shaker.
Okay, thank you. I should follow my usual instructions, which is to go with the sweet components first, so that I can clean out my jigger. And let's go reach over here. Nice black jigger here. And we're going to go, how much? 1 ounce. 1 full ounce of honey syrup. There we go, Don. Some honey syrup for you. Man, I'm going to need a little more honey syrup, so I hope this will make it. Next up, lime juice. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. I unfortunately did my recipe board in a little smaller writing than I normally do, and it's in red writing, which I should never do. It's in red ink. I should use blue ink when I'm writing the recipes, so I have to have my glasses on for doing this, so sorry about that. So we've done the ounce of honey, 3/4 ounce of lime. Then we go into the rums, and Don is famous for using 3 different rums in his cocktails. So we're going to start with a light rum, and here we're going to go pretty much the lightest thing I have on hand, which is Bacardi Superior, right there. Then we're going to go Jamaican. What do we want for Jamaican? I'm just going to reach for the Hamilton Pot Still Gold right there. And last but not least, certainly, is the Demerara rums. And we're going to go with the Eldorado 8 for this. So 1 ounce of each one of these. So we'll start with an ounce of the most expensive stuff, actually, the Eldorado 8. Demerara rum, yum, yum, yum. And then Ed Hamilton's Jamaican Pot Still Gold. Last couple of weeks we've mentioned the fact that the Pot Still Gold is in fact the exact same as the Pot Still Black. The Pot Still Black just has a little extra coloring in it. So yeah, there we go. But sometimes color matters for the cocktails that you're putting together. So that can be a thing. And then we are going with 1 ounce of just light white Puerto Rican rum, Bacardi Superior. Sometimes you need a filler rum, and this is perfectly fine choice. I didn't want to use something like the Plantation 3-Star or the White Stash or anything along those lines because it's going to add other flavors. Those are blends. They taste great on their own, but they'd mess with this mixture that we have here. Okay, so let's see, lime juice. Right. Okay, I need grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice. I forgot the grapefruit juice. So here's a little trick. So I have white grapefruits, and you should use white grapefruit every chance you get for these kinds of cocktails. That's how they were originally made, is white grapefruit juice. My white grapefruit were a little on the aged side, and they still had grapefruit flavor, but they didn't have quite the snap and tang that you expect from grapefruit juice. So what I did was I reached into my bag of citric acid and put a little citric acid in here and dissolved that in, and bingo bango, it tastes like fresh grapefruit juice. It is tart and snappy and everything you could possibly want from grapefruit juice. So there we go. Sorry, I missed the juice earlier. No, this is not basil seed drink with watermelon flavor. That is just something that I had earlier today, and these bottles are actually really nice, aside from the fact that they really need a cork as opposed to a screw top, but that's it. All right, so we're going to throw some ice in here. We're going to shake and strain this into a Mai Tai glass. All right. Oh, look, there's a bottle of soda here, soda water there. Oh, maybe that'll come in handy. It will, in fact. So we'll go here, like so. Let's go back here. The reason that will come in handy is because there's actually supposed to be a splash of soda water in here to lengthen the cocktail just a tad. But we're not going to add the soda water. Don't you dare add soda water before shaking a cocktail, because you will get it everywhere, right? The whole point here is that because this is cold, it's going to contract. It's going to cause the air to contract in here and hold this together. If in fact you have a carbonated substance in here, it will have exactly the opposite effect. Yeah, pretty sure that's cold. Now here's the problem with using shakers like this, is trying to get them to come apart. There you go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now then, this drink comes with a classic garnish that didn't really turn out the way it's supposed to. So, Jeff Beachcomber makes and sells the molds for an ice cone. And the ice cone is essentially just a cone of ice that sits around a straw, kind of like such. I don't know if you can see that. That's a cone of ice. I just used a funnel, and it's a little too wide for the Mai Tai glass that I have here. But we're going to just dump it in like that. Anyway, the whole point is to be able to put a straw through there. Let's see if I can find a small straw like this. There we go. We're going to double strain this. such, and like such. And the ice cone mold will actually put together a narrower cone for you, and so that cone will actually stick sitting up out of the glass. And the point here is that you really don't want a whole lot of dilution coming off the ice. What you want is to keep the straw cold. So here we go. This is, let's go ahead and add some mint. Why not? Why not? There's a little mint here. Add some leaves. Just rip that right apart. Die, mint, die. Smack my mint up. There you go. For all you Prodigy fans. And there we have it. The Navy Grog sitting in a Shores of Carcosa glass from Horror in Clay. A la Don Beach 1941 or so. Oh, what am I doing? 3/4 of an ounce of the soda. The whole point I had the soda out here. Failing my bartender course. There we go. Do a little twirl here. So the ice cone didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to. That's okay. I did it on the fly, and I did it on relatively short notice. And in order to get it really to come out, you do need shaved ice, which I can do, but it requires pulling out yet another ice device, and I just didn't feel like doing it. So this is what you get, all right? I can see why that would be somebody's favorite cocktail. That's tasty. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
That's a solid
it's a solid cocktail.
cocktail.
Not my favorite.
It does not taste like it has 3 ounces of rum in it.
No, it does not.
So this is another thing that Don is famous for.
Dangerous drinks.
Right. So the Hollywood crowd that he hung out with, unless they were drinking something that was, obviously booze on rock or booze in glass, any sort of cocktail was a lighter thing and intended to be a lighter thing. And sometimes those were quaffed in very rapidly and in large quantities. If Don had served them something like this and the 3 ounces of rum really came through,
They wouldn't want it.
they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't drink it. So there's a little bit of disguise and sleight of hand here, which led to Don and his most famous concoction, the zombie, actually really putting a limit
On the menu,
On the
saying
menus, you can only have 2, right? So the zombie has 3 ounces of rum in it as well, 4 ounces of rum, one of which is 151.
Right.
So I mean, even more potent than this. But this is not a schlock at 3 ounces of rum, not at all.
No.
And it does not at all taste like it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Do you want another sip before it goes away?
Oh, are you going to take it away? All right.
I might trade it for the next one.
You probably will. Which will be fine with me. I'll drink that.
Well, I could leave this one.
No, it's okay. It's all right. See, Star has a weakness for blended drinks. And Don was actually really, really famous for using a Hamilton Beach stand-up blender. Now, I have a Waring here, but Hamilton Beach stand-up blender for blending a lot of his drinks. In fact, the Navy Grog being shaken is a little uncommon and unusual for Don. So the next drink actually uses a real honest-to-goodness normal blender. Not a stick blender, not a spindle blender. It uses just a straight-up blender. I keep one of these in the back because there are a lot of the drinks, well, not a lot, but there are a number of drinks that do require it, and so I dig it out when necessary. And here we go. This is my Waring I have one upstairs as well for kitchen stuff. This is the bar one. This one I think is also a garage sale find.
Yes.
So, all right. So what did you think of the Navy Grog? Good? Yep. Good, potent, strong drink. Does not kick you in the teeth, though.
No, it's not.
So let's try the next drink. The next drink is Missionary's Downfall, and the reason we're going to use this blender is because it has fresh ingredients in it in their raw form that need to be broken up by the blender blades. And so we're going to start with a ½ ounce of lime juice. Actually, we're going to start with 1 ounce of honey syrup again. I put these in the wrong order on my board. I actually had some honey syrup go bad on me, which I was like, I wasn't even sure that that was possible. Must have been something in the bottle. So I was a little careful about making honey syrup this time and did not make a whole bunch. And I'm already almost out. I think I made it last week, so that's kind of amazing. ½ ounce lime juice. Comments? Questions? Thoughts? Anybody reading up on the Don Beach Wikipedia page?
I did pull it up. I could post it.
I am next up going to reach into the bag of tricks and pull out weirdness, which is, yeah. I don't normally reach for De Kuyper, but it's kind of what I had. There's a strict comment on making this drink in the Total Tiki app that says do not use peach schnapps, which is really a shame because I have a great big handle of peach schnapps. So, but instead we're going to use the peach liqueur from De Kuyper, and we will see what we get from this. ½ ounce of this peach liqueur. Peach liqueur. I still think this is going to be too sweet because De Kuyper is usually really, really sweet. ½ ounce. 1 ounce light rum. Okay, in this case, I'm not actually going to reach for the Bacardi. I want something with a little more character because this is the only rum in the cocktail. What? The only rum in the cocktail. There's only one rum, and it's only 1 ounce of rum. So I want something with a little more character than just the Bacardi Superior. I'm going to go with the Angostura 1919. It's just, it's similar style to many of the Bacardi brands, but I don't know, it just has a little more character to it. It's a little more fun. So we're going to go a full ounce of that. Wow, what is this music? Not sure what happened there. Tripped into just like Donnie and Marie or something. I don't know what that is. Next, but so all of a sudden this looks just normally like a cocktail, like something we would normally shake up. But the next ingredient is 2 ounces of diced pineapple. Now you really ought to use fresh pineapple. And this is the thing about doing the Missionary's Downfall, is I don't always have fresh pineapple on hand. I always have pineapple juice, but I don't always have fresh pineapple. And in fact, today I don't have fresh pineapple either. This is canned pineapple. Sorry, Don. It's the best I can do for you. So we got 2 ounces cut, chunked pineapple. Next up, 2 ounces.
Matt is signed on and says hi.
Matt's signed on the plane?
He's on a plane.
He's on a plane watching us. Wow, that's kind of cool. Yay! This is a cup. This is a 2 ounce measuring device. Jigger thing, and it is filled. It is packed with packed mint leaves.
Okay.
And that's what it says. Is 2 ounces of mint leaves tightly packed. So that's a lot of mint leaves, by the way. So there goes in there. And then 6 ounces of crushed ice. Okay, well, we're not actually going to use crushed ice here. We're going to use pebble ice. But we will achieve the same effect. go. You know how usually when you're making tiki drinks and you put them on the spindle blender, it's like flash blend, 5 seconds, no more, no less. Sometimes you get some drinks that are like, whoa, we're going to really push it. We're going to go maybe up to 10 seconds on ye old spindle blender. This says blend minimum of 20 seconds until everything comes together. So, wow, here we go. Roomba zoom zoom, 20 seconds, go. Ta-da. The Missionary's downfall. And apparently the end of music, too. We have no more music. Well, it looks like frothy and yummy. This supposedly makes enough for 2. So we've got 2 glasses here. Maybe. A little chunked ice. Yeah, looks good. Looking good. The Missionary's downfall. Very green. Vibrant green. You are going to get mint leaves stuck in your teeth. And this drink actually calls for very specific garnish, which is to take the top of your mint leaf, of a mint frond, and stick it right smack dab in the middle of this cocktail. Just sticking up like that. So we're going to do that with one of the other mint sprigs we have here. Ta-da. Now I'm really not sure, and we probably don't need to actually spank the mint on this one, because there is so much mint in this cocktail. I don't think that you really need the aromatics to get mint across. But here we go. This is the big green meanie. This is the Missionary's downfall. I don't know why mint was the Missionary's downfall. Perhaps he planted it where he shouldn't have, and it took over the garden. But this is it. Missionary's downfall. Be better with fresh pineapple, but the pineapple does come through. Mm-hmm. If you really wanted to amp up the pineapple, I would say make this with like the Stiggins pineapple rum. Mm-hmm. It has that creamy, slushy.
Yeah.
This is a summer cocktail.
It is.
This is Southern California.
Yeah.
I'm sweltering. Let's have something that'll keep me cool. And there's an ounce of rum.
That's it?
And a half ounce of the peach brandy, peach liqueur split. So this is almost a low ABV cocktail. You could sip these things all day long and be fine.
I could.
Yeah, it'd be no problem.
In my hammock.
Oh, and look, the Navy Grog came back. Oh, those are delightful. I do think it's a little too low in ABV for me. That I want a little something else in there. I want to be able to taste the rum on that one. But particularly now, when it's still kind of winterish, it actually feels much more like early fall out there. This would be just absolutely dog days of summer, massive humidity, perfect cocktail. Right now, I want a little more rum forward from that. But Dawn, man, that's a really good cocktail for only a little bit of rum in there. Nicely done, sir. And not the insanely complicated 12 ingredient cocktails that we've normally come to expect from Dawn. In fact, I'm going to have another sip of this. It's going to be hard to go from this back to the Grog. I think the Grog is going to be much more, it's going to hit a little harder after drinking this. That is delightful and tasty, though. It really is.
It is.
It's very minty, though. Oof. You cannot escape the mint on the Missionary's Downfall. Not at all. Okay. A little water. I do imagine that it was not the favorite drink of the Starlets, because
It got mint in there.
it would get mint in their teeth, and they'd need to dig out their little compacts and like digging like, mint out of their teeth all the time. Very unladylike. Don was particularly good friends with much of the Hollywood crowd, and as a consequence, it just sort of fed, right? The Hollywood crowd found his place to be attractive. They came in. He put on just the show, because Don Beach was, in addition to being a great cocktailist, was also just a consummate performer, was always on. And the theater and movie crowd really appreciated that and could appreciate the scene setting that he was doing for them. He became very good friends with them. They told others about their experiences at Don the Beachcombers, and it became a thing. It became, there were, if I'm remembering correctly, the original Don Beaches, or Don the Beachcombers, actually had a rack where the stars would keep their chopsticks, right? So they would come in, they'd unlock the case, and they would pull out their chopsticks to have dinner. I assumed that the chopsticks got washed before being put in the
Elizabeth
case.
says maybe that's what got the missionaries sipping on these all day long.
I mean, instead of converting the natives, sipping on these, I could see that. That would work. That's a delightful drink. It is, when you go from the Missionary's Downfall back to the Navy Grog, the Navy Grog's a little shocking because it's so much tartar. And you can definitely tell that there is rum in that. Of course, there's 3 ounces of rum in there. But, I mean, that's... Pay attention to what order you drink drinks in. I think this is actually working out quite well. If I had finished off the Navy Grog and then gone to the Missionary's Downfall, I would be happy with this as a sort of a light cleansing, palate cleansing cocktail in between serious knockback drinking cocktails, which is what we're going to do next. Because while we've done this cocktail many, many times on the show, we've even done different versions of this cocktail. I've done multiple versions of the zombie at haunted tiki parties here at the house. So I've done the zombie many, many times. And in fact, I think the recipe for the zombie is up here on the wall. Yep, zombie, da-da-da-da. Oh, but it's not this zombie. This is the zombie recipe from Ed Hamilton, because Ed Hamilton was working with some friends and put together this zombie blend, which is a blend of rums, and it comes in at a much lower ABV and makes the zombie a much more drinkable, much more approachable cocktail that you can have multiple of in an evening, and has very much the same flavor profile. Now, we do like the original 1934 zombie better, and that's, we're going to go ahead and make that. But this is a great rum. It makes a great zombie.
So, the drinks, the Missionary Downfall. The drink's name refers to missionaries in Africa and Asia operating in Belgium, France, or British colonies during World War II. Many of them were detained or expelled for the duration of the war if those nations were at odds with the colonists. This is a definite tip of the hat to Don Beach's own military experience.
Don also did the 3 dots and a dash, which is yet another nod to military experience. What am I doing? I'm adulterating my Missionary's Downfall with the Fijian rum. Because I wanted a little more oomph from my Missionary's Downfall.
Okay.
Oh, purr. That's still really good. All right, zombie. 1934 zombie. This recipe was decoded for us by Jeff Beachcomber, and there's a famous picture of Jeff in green skin paint holding up a zombie. I forget which one of his books it's on, but if you were in the Total Tiki app and you pull up the 1934 zombie, you'll see that picture there. And this took much sleuthing on Jeff's part to get this. But it has a secret ingredient in it, and Don was the first to really do this secret ingredient stuff. His drinks became so famous that other bars would try and copy his drinks. And so they would watch what the bartenders were doing and write down the various ingredients that the bartenders were putting in. Also, bartenders tends to be a transitory population, so they move from bar to bar to bar, and if you happen to have served at a Don the Beachcombers, then maybe your other manager might want the skinny on what it was you were making and how to make these wonderful concoctions that Don Beach was making. So Don had an ingenious solution to this. Not everybody knew the full entire recipe. Some portions of the staff only knew that it was various proportions of various bottles. So they might have a rum blend in a bottle that was the rum blend for the zombie. And all it would say is rum blend zombie or zombie mix #1 or something along those lines. For various other ingredients, like we did grapefruit and lime in the Navy Grog, perhaps those would be mixed together and put in another bottle. And so instead of being knowing that it was lime juice and grapefruit juice, it would just be, oh, it's Don's citrus mix. Do I know what's in it? No, because it was made up for me by someone else. And this is a way of protecting his drinks and his cocktail recipes. One of the most famous of his special secret ingredients is Don's mix. And trying to figure out what was in Don's mix was a key to understanding the zombie. Now, the zombie only uses a ½ ounce of Don's mix. So you might wonder, okay, well, if you got a special mix for this and a special mix for that, and how many different mixes would Don have had on the back bar? Well, not all the cocktails needed to have a special mix to them. It was really the cocktails that were really important, the cocktails that you couldn't get anywhere else, the cocktails that made Don's special. And so, while you might think, okay, well, how much of Don's mix would you really need? It turns out that you would need a lot because the zombie was so vastly popular that you would just have to have a bunch of Don's mix on hand. Don's mix is a really easy mix. It is 2 parts. Oh shoot, I'm going to get the ratio wrong. I believe it's 2 parts grapefruit juice, 1 part cinnamon syrup. Pretty sure that's right. 2 parts grapefruit, 1 part cinnamon syrup.
Which one?
Don's mix. If you just look up
Which Don's mix?
Don's mix #1.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to go 2 ounces of grapefruit juice, white grapefruit juice,
Cinnamon syrup and grapefruit juice.
right? Cinnamon syrup and grapefruit juice. It's 2 to 1.
1 part cinnamon, 2 parts grapefruit.
Excellent. I was right. And around here, we don't actually use cinnamon syrup. We use spice syrup, whose primary ingredient is cinnamon, but it also has some cardamom and some clove and some allspice and a few other things mixed in here. So we're going to go 2 ounces of grapefruit juice, 1 ounce of the spiced syrup. I have incense smoke in my eyes. There we go. It's really simple. It's just 2 ingredients, but having it labeled as Don's mix made it so that it was very, very hard to replicate. People didn't know what was in Don's mix. No clue, no idea, and as a consequence, how would I make this cocktail? You okay over there, Star?
Yep.
Cough, cough,
I
cough.
had a hiccup and a sneeze at the same time.
So obviously this doesn't mix really well, so you do need to just Just kind of mix this up. Normally I just put this in a small squeeze bottle. Depends on how many zombies you're doing.
Yeah.
There's only one other classic Dawn recipe that I know of that uses the Dawn's mix, and that's the Donga Punch recipe. There are various other recipes that use grapefruit and cinnamon syrup, which is another great way of mixing things up, because if you have some recipes that call for grapefruit juice and cinnamon syrup, and some that call for Dawn's mix, well, then you would never think that Dawn's mix is just spice syrup and grapefruit, right? That wouldn't even occur. Okay, this is typical for Dawn in that this is going to be a spindle blended drink. So we are going to start with a ½ ounce of Dawn's mix. ½ ounce Dawn's mix. And then a ½ ounce of falernum. Where's my bottle of falernum? There it is. Still trying to figure out how I want this bar. ½ ounce falernum. There we go. So been watching a lot of Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour on YouTube, and Spike is a graphic designer, and his bar is phenomenal. And what he's done is he really loves vintage tiki, and he wanted to bring vintage tiki cocktail recipes to folks. And so he's essentially, 2 years ago, something like that, just started going down through classic recipes and how to make the classic recipes. He's branched out and doing other things these days on the show, but it's always fun to watch him do stuff. He did, with his girlfriend Larissa, he did a taste test of 4 different zombies, and he recently did a taste test of, I think it's 6 different daiquiris, each one with a different rum. Now, I've always said that a daiquiri is one of the best ways to understand a rum. It's a very simple cocktail. You just hold the ratio of lime juice and sugar sweetener the same, and you've got a basis of comparison across multiple different kinds of rum. So I'm thinking, and I've never done that on this show. I've never done the daiquiri flight using different rums. I did do different sweeteners.
Right, and you did do a different rums in Coquito.
I did do different rums in Coquito. Coquito's a weird thing to do that with, but I did do it. So expect at some point that I'm going to do a tasting flight of daiquiris where we just go down through different rums and see what the different rums taste like. I will say that my house daiquiri, which uses Probitas, came in kind of right in the middle in terms of Spike's listing of which daiquiris he liked. But expect that will come. If you have any other ideas of things you want me to do, just put them in the comments and we'll get them done. Okay, I have not yet added lime juice, so I need to add the lime juice. So 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. So split citrus base, although you wouldn't know it because the only citrus you saw going in was the lime, because the other portion of it comes from the Dawn's mix. Falernum, and now we get to rums, and there are 3 different rums in here. The first is a gold Puerto Rican rum, and here we're going to go upscale. We're going to go with the Bacardi 10-year. That is definitely a gold rum. It is definitely a Puerto Rican rum. There's no getting around it. So, 1.5 ounces gold Puerto Rican rum, the Bacardi 10. Why did I go with the Bacardi 10? Because I could not find my Bacardi Ocho that wasn't rye cask, and the rye cask would not be appropriate here. It's around somewhere. Don't worry about it. 1.5 ounces gold or dark Jamaican rum. Well, if they say gold or dark Jamaican, I'm going to reach for Hamilton's Gold / dark Jamaican pot still rum, right? Also, 1.5 ounces of this. Now, there's a slight chance that I don't have 1.5 ounces in this bottle. It's gonna be... No, I'm not gonna get there. Oh, no. Oh, it's so close. So close. What do you got there, hon?
I have Jamaican pot still black.
Oh, it's the same rum, just colored differently. Oh man, there's not much in here either.
No, there's not.
Wow. Okay, so we're just gonna top this off a little bit. Come on. Oh, there's so not much in here. There we go. 1.5 ounces. Ta-da! Wow. And we have a dead soldier. We're about to have a second dead soldier. I have a mint leaf on the floor. Okay, lime juice, Don's Mix, Falernum, gold Puerto Rican rum, gold or dark Jamaican rum, 1.5 ounces of those two rums. Then we're going to go 1 more ounce of rum. That's right, baby. We're going Hamilton 151. Yes, there's a full ounce of Demerara rum, but it specifically calls for an overproof 151 Demerara. Wow. There is a lot of potency in this zombie. And we are, I'm not going to worry about it. We are just shy on that. We're going to be fine. I got about 6 drops or so of rum that needed to be put in there. Not going to worry about it. It's the 151. We got it covered. Now, single dash Angostura bitters.
Bruce says
Bruce.
emptying bottles means there's room for new bottles.
I believe I have backup bottles of each of these, Bruce. I know I have backup bottles of the Lemon Heart 151. So single dash of Angostura. There you go. 1 dash Angostura bitters. Sorry, and then 6 drops of absinthe. This is the Mount Defiance absinthe, and this is a spritzer bottle, and I just do spritzes, but in this case, because it's so specific, it says 6 drops. Yeah, see, there you go. It doesn't have a red label on it.
No, it does not have a red label on it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oop. There's a 7th drop. That's a very small medicine dropper. That's why I added the 7th drop to it. I do like the absinthe in the misters. It makes it great for doing things like Sazeracs, or you just want to add a hint of absinthe to a cocktail. You can either spritz it into the shaker, or you can spritz it into the glass, or if you really don't want it overpowering and you think that somebody would be overpowered by even spritzing it into the glass, you can actually spritz like the bottom of a glass like this with the absinthe, and you'll get the smell, but you won't get the taste of the absinthe, which is kind of an amusing way of approaching that. Next up, we need 1 teaspoon of another sweet component. And here's my teaspoon, and that sweet component is, ladies and gentlemen, grenadine. They would have made their own grenadine. They would not have been using roses. Grenadine is not a cherry syrup. It is not a high fructose corn syrup. Grenadine is a pomegranate syrup, so it should be tart and sweet. And that is exactly what this is, tart and sweet. And it will add a richness and a darkness to this cocktail. Also, mine has a little bit of pomegranate liqueur in it, and some pomegranate molasses in it as well. So there we go. Now, these are all the ingredients. So lime juice, Don's Mix, which is actually 2 ingredients, Falernum, gold Puerto Rican rum, gold or dark Jamaican rum, 151 Demerara rum, Angostura, absinthe, and grenadine. 10 ingredients, not counting ice. So 6 ounces of ice. That's 3. That's 6. This is strong incense. This is incense from Flint Candle Company. We love their stuff. This is their grapefruit and thyme. It's been burning throughout the entire episode, this single stick here, which is pretty freaking impressive. But occasionally I get a whiff of this up the old schnoz, and it just kind of drives me bonkers. Still good. Still awesome. Okay.
Matt's internet is going away because they're on approach.
Yay, Matt. There you go. We wanted this aerated nicely. It is aerated and frothy and yummy, and we need to put this into a zombie glass. Star, do you want the Horror and Clay kitty glass, or do you want the Archipelago Shiva glass?
I want the kitty kitties.
Kitty kitties. Orange or purple? Dumb question. Dumb question, Pooch. Here we go. This is Horror and Clay. Did these guys? Right. They have yellow and purple, and they have an orange and yellow as well. And we're just going to open pour this directly in. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can't get a whole lot better than that. Okay, we're going to reach in. We're going to grab some mint to garnish this with. And I'm just going to I'm going to actually leave these bottom mint leaves on. Smack the mint. Stick that in there so those bottom leaves get soaked in. Just do that. Let's see, I have some Luxardos right here, don't I? I don't want to get too fancy with the zombie, but I'm going to because I want to show off a pick. That's what I'm... Actually, this isn't a pick, this is a swizzle, isn't it?
No, it's a pick.
Oh, right, it is, but it goes the other way. That's the coolness about this. So, see, this is a flat end here. Right. This is the sharp end, right? So here's the deal. You take your Luxardo cherry, like this, which is dripping in reddish goo from the brandy or whatever that this is soaking in.
I bet you let it bleed
and
all
you
over
just
the
let
skull.
it bleed down over the skull, which, that's just kind of cool. So that's got to go in there, right? Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Straw. Little hearts on the straw? No, let's not do that. You want a purple straw. Here is a purple
straw, yeah.
And it is purple, and it is done in the bamboo style, the glass bamboo style from Surfside Sips. Once again, if you would like these straws from Surfside Sips, you can do that. You can even get a discount on them. Help us out a little bit. It's essentially just defraying our costs on straws.
It's giving us a discount on straws. That's what it does.
If you buy straws, we get a discount on straws. That's how that essentially works. And here you go. This is the classic 1934 zombie sticking to the mat.
Oh, that's strong.
Wake you up?
Yeah.
Wake you up before you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I just took a sip of the Navy Grog.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to see. We're going to do a comparison.
Okay.
That 34, woof, it's remarkably well balanced.
It is. But you know there's booze in there.
But you don't know that you would not think that there's 4 ounces of booze that's in there.
No.
Or you're like, yeah, it's probably about as boozy as the Navy Grog. No, it's 4 ounces, and one of those ounces is 151, which means it's the equivalent of another 2 ounces. So yeah, that's almost 5 ounces worth of booze that are in there. Wow, I'm actually getting ash off of the. Oh, that's because we're past the incense at this point. We're just burning the stem. Anyway, there you go. There have been, there are. Here's the Navy Grog. Here's the Missionary's downfall. Here's an empty tumbler of the zombie. And apparently we're going to get a picture of the zombie posted as well, probably on Instagram. Don Beach, happy birthday, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, of all of us that love this weird, bizarre culture that was just a brainchild of yours, and suddenly it turned into something amazing and cool. So there you go, Don Beach, thank you very much. Happy birthday. I'm going to drink some more of the Navy Grog and sign off, unless there are questions. Anybody? There are not. People are just stunned by the amount of alcohol that we are going to consume in 3 cocktails, and one of those is the Missionary's Downfall, which barely has any alcohol in it at all. So I'm going to drink out of the Navy Grog and say goodbye, folks. So here we go. Remember, it's Lovecraft Cocktails. The end is nigh.